Welcome to Revolution Radio. Here tonight, beautiful Wednesday.
You know, it really is a beautiful day. It's like 56 degrees.
Now, you had it right the first time when her mic was off.
Yeah. Well, she broke her headphones anyway, so that's how we start
Again?
the show.
Jesus, fathead.
I
Take
don't
it easy.
do any. It just comes right off.
Christ. It's all that hot air you're storing in there.
Whatever.
You can get a new pair. Everything's $1.
Right. Seriously, go to Dollar General. They have headphones there.
If only this stuff was all Bluetooth capable. That'd be nice.
That would be pretty cool.
It would be.
Has this flashing lights that says, "Yo, your Bluetooth is live."
It says
I mean,
that?
like, just like that? Like, oh, your Bluetooth's live.
I think I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
I changed my mind. I want
wonder
to
if
go back to using Wolfman Jack stuff.
I wonder if we could record it to sound like Forrest Gump or something. Bluetooth's live, Jenny.
Mama always said your Bluetooth is live.
Never know what you're going to get.
That would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
I would just have it like be the I like turtles kid.
I like turtles.
Don't we have that on a soundboard?
Probably
Probably
somewhere.
somewhere,
Jay's got
yeah.
like 6 million on his phone.
I think I do.
That I
think
don't
have
use
it.
any of them
I
anymore.
know. You download them one time for one show and then they just sit there.
Like, oh, they're funny, and then
I would be really curious to look through your phone and see how many soundboards you have.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd find a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah, I know. It's worth it.
TS quote unquote girls looking for daddies is a big thing that's up there.
Oh, yeah? Is that new local dating app?
Yes, yeah.
I thought you were doing fish for hoes.
What?
What? No.
Fish for hoes?
Have you seen that one?
Nah.
It's
No,
fish for hoes.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
At least they know what they are.
See, I don't question
That's-
Tanya anymore.
I know.
Because remember when she was going off on those sayings? He was like
Oh, don't say I'm bringing home the bacon. Say
yeah.
I'm bringing home the bagels.
Yeah, that's right.
and
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 scone, and
How bad is
I
that?
thought that was all bullshit. When
Yeah,
you
right,
heard her, and
yeah.
I was like, oh, whatever. And then I got home, and I'm like,
Fuck
oh,
you.
holy fuck, it's
Yeah.
a real thing.
So, it's really bad if, like, a girl signs up for Fish for Hoes because right then, you're just, I don't know, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Because you
Well-
know they're the same people that, like, Tinder originated as a
Yeah.
hookup app. But then you see all these people are like, oh, I'm looking for a relationship. If you post that you're looking for a relationship on Fish for
Fishing
Hoes,
for hoes.
So I
And
thought
I
it was
bet
a
you
joke.
it'll turn to that.
No, because
absolutely.
it's because I was gonna sign up for it. I was playing.
Why?
I was playing a prank
It'd be
on.
fun, probably.
Cause see, I think they're listening. I was playing a prank on one of my kids' dance teachers. Because she was.
Your kids as dance teachers listen.
They do. This is what they do when the kids are dancing.
Great influence on the
Have a
children.
little footloose moment. All right, time to listen to the show.
Well, she graduated in May with her bachelor's, and she's finishing for her dental hygienist thing this year. And she's having an issue making ends meet, which I think she makes enough money, but apparently she's a princess. So jokingly, I said, go to Sugar Daddies and sign up. And she didn't believe
How old
me.
is she?
She's 22.
Is she hot?
Zach's like, oh, really?
So I showed her Sugar Daddies and how a lot of it is these guys like, Jay's age who are 80 and they're wanting to go out with hot girls. But there was a link towards it for Fish for a Hoe. So I clicked on it and I'm talking, Jay, some of these women have no teeth and they look like they're covered in sweat. Like,
God, that's my
That's
type
perfect.
of woman. I
thought
like
it
that
was a
kind of
joke.
woman.
But yeah, so I was like, look, you could even be a fish for hoe. And apparently that did not go over well. I hope that you did sign up for,
That's
sugar daddies,
okay.
Haley.
That's my kind of girl, though. I mean,
No teeth and sweaty.
God, she's down for anything. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Just saying.
When she's tripping off the meth, she's all sweaty. And I'm coming down. I'm going through my withdrawals right now. Oh, it's perfect.
Confuse her.
Stay
She's already
sweaty.
got the shakes. You don't have to do much.
No.
She's moving for the both of you.
That's perfect.
Like, he's all into that. Look at him.
Yeah, I know. It's
I
kind of.
just wish there was one for a particular kind of woman.
I'm sure there is.
Like, I'm sure if you went on Craigslist
You know what?
and posted, I would like to order no teeth, covered
Grandma?
in sweat, hasn't bathed for a week, 80-year-old, 80 at the youngest, because I know how you are. Prefer in a wheelchair, has the shakes.
What are you showing me here?
Oh my God, what did you do?
I took the hint on the
Holy
transsexual,
shit.
and so I looked up transsexual dating apps, and there's a fuck
There's a
ton.
ton.
I didn't think there'd be that many, but there's a ton. So there you go. Jot 'em down and-
Trans chat zone.
Yeah, tagged.
That's
I
how
like tagged.
That's how I spend my entire night. I prefer pegged.
Oh wait,
God.
Oh, I thought that's TS nasty at first. I was like, oh,
Is it about the T zone?
like on your
You
face.
gotta watch a T zone.
Yeah, you do. I love it though. So yeah,
I use some stuff. Well, my wife used some stuff. There's like this clay crap.
yeah,
You ever use that?
yeah. I have some at home. It's avocado.
Stuff's garbage.
What?
It
it's
depends
not.
on which one you get.
Well, knowing my wife, it was the expensive junk. But you can use it in your hair too.
Oh, what?
Yeah, like this is real charcoal clay crap.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I have. Or no, I have the face mask clay. It's not a clay. It's
I
just
mean,
like
this
a
is
face
like
mask.
dark shit.
It's charcoal. Yeah, it's
And
activated.
and like, I don't know. She put it in her hair.
Which
Why?
is weird.
Because you're supposed to. Like, that's one of the uses for it, is to use it in your hair. It's
That's
supposed to make
weird.
it shiny and whatever else. Her hair felt like
I thought that was your job to make it shiny.
it felt like if you were to dig up a body and rub its hair.
Oh my God.
yeah, I bet.
She had corpse hair. It was so gross.
That would worry me though, because like you're not supposed to get that stuff on your eyebrows because it'll
Yeah,
when you
that's what
pull
I'm
it off,
thinking.
it pulls out your eyebrow
no,
hair.
this stuff you don't pull.
What kind
you
is
wash
it,
it
though?
off.
I mean,
I
it's
don't know.
because there's a brand called Lush.
It's this stuff that you mix in a bowl and you stir it and then you apply it.
She Walter White.
That's weird.
It's not like just a mask. It's not one of those itsy things.
Bullshit.
Those
Etsy
cheap people.
masks.
It's a real.
I mean,
you
I've
know,
heard of like certain mud masks for your hair, but you don't mix them in a bowl. They come pre.
They come pre-mixed.
Yeah.
That's how Cody likes to get his mud masks.
That's where I get mine from, is Cody. That's why
Oh,
my hair is
gross.
so silky and
No
shiny.
wonder you stink. I wondered where all the flies came from.
It smells like loneliness
Hey.
and desperation.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're doing kind of a short show today, so I want to get on target. I want to ask you guys a really important question that I think everyone's talking about. And no, it's not Michael Cohen. We will get to Michael Cohen.
Yeah, we have to.
Um,
By the way, real quick, I
Yeah.
do think it's funny because I saw the article on him on Vice, and I shared it, and I said fake news. But then immediately after, I had a notification pop up on Facebook that said, "Oh, Revolution Radio has shared an article," and it was that one. I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
right
yeah.
on."
So, I mean, the Revolution Radio is on top of sharing
Yeah,
their
they
shit. No, what do you guys think about blackfishing? This is the thing everyone's
Okay.
talking
I
about.
don't think I want
right
to
now.
touch on this
Here-
one.
Here is my thing.
No, Cody, this is not what they're doing in Afghanistan right now.
Oh, okay,
No,
well-
Oh my God. My biggest issue with the blackfishing thing is
Can you lay it out? Do you know enough to kind of lay out just a
So,
brief?
because isn't it Ariana Grande that is being
She's the latest. Yeah.
she's the latest one to be considered blackfishing because they say she's acting black.
Essentially, they said that she used a black scent,
A black scent, yes.
which is an accent.
Or she's
yeah,
or she's tanning to get blacker.
Isn't she like Mexican or something?
she is. Yeah.
She's Latino or whatever.
No, she's white with Grande as her last name.
well,
Which, by the way, does her name mean Ariana Huge?
Yes. I think it's hilarious when people start translating like Hispanic nicknames.
Kind of awful.
It is.
here, check this
Anyway,
out. I
yeah.
pulled up a video or a picture just
Yeah.
so you can get some
Yeah,
prime
and-
Oh, there's
examples.
Kylie Jenner.
And actually, that one standing there, she's like kind of the first one. She's an English girl.
Yes.
But anyway, go ahead.
But my biggest issue is with the way that the world is right now, there are so many mixed races. We've talked about it a lot before because sometimes I call you Asian or Mexicasian because, and there's some Mexicans that are
Or sometimes you just call me big.
I
That's
did call-
really hurtful.
Shut up, wetback. But we're mixed. A lot of, well, some of us are, not the
See, I'll
albino at the table. But I just
That's
don't
why
think
Cody's
it's
all
fair.
full mice of men over there because he's pure blood.
tell me about the rabbits.
But how is that fair? Because maybe there is some black in her. Nobody knows for sure unless you're doing what Cody's family
Only when
did
she
to
was
prove
dating
their
Big
whites.
Sean.
At one point, there was black in her.
And I mean, I've heard Pete Davidson is like, he might as well be. I heard he's packing. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
He's
stalking a lot
legendary
lately.
in the comedy
Is he?
world for
Having like a 12-inch wiener.
Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, I wasn't gonna just paint the target there like that.
Fuck.
But that's okay. Tanya always
I
takes
know.
things too far.
I know.
Okay, but
okay,
here's the thing. If you
also-
had a 12-inch wiener, I think you should be proud of that and post it.
Absolutely.
Like
If
with
you
my
want to.
10-inch one, I'm so proud of having a 10-inch penis.
Yeah,
I'm proud of my little 2-incher.
it's grown up to be quite the child. I would say that because I love him.
But I don't
just-
see
but-
the point in the blackfishing.
Do you think though too? Like, you've seen the pictures of Ariana Grande,
Yes.
Yeah.
and she's obviously like Cody was saying, Latino. And you've seen like people who are in further Central America or Southern America.
The
They're
Dominicans
very
have a lot of
dark.
Yeah.
black in
Like,
them.
is that a big deal though? Like,
I
why?
wouldn't think
Why do
so.
people care? I guess is my other.
I think it's
issue.
more when like these white bitches are trying to be black.
Like when
Okay,
on
but what
about- Like
Saturday
the picture I
night
showed
when
you.
Cody's covered in tan oil and he's like, "Yo, what's up?"
Listen. Oh, what's up, bro? Come
But,
on,
like,
bro.
Okay, and like the whole black scent thing. And I think this kind of, for me, it kind of ties back to the whole Kevin Hart thing in a way, where he made a joke 10 years ago that some people took as offensive. I think everyone took as offensive, but I don't know. He's a comedian. That's how I know him
do you
as
get
a comedian.
offended when Cody
But-
starts speaking Spanglish or using like my grandma's accent? Because I don't care.
No, I could care less. But you're right. Certain people would have a problem with that. But anyway, I don't remember who it was. I think it was. I don't want to misquote him, but I do believe. I'm not even going to say that because I'm not 100% sure. But someone else shared tweets that Sarah Silverman, Amy Schumer, and I can't remember the other
Oh,
girl.
that was.
But that they all, Leah Dunham, that they
Yes.
all made gay jokes
they have.
and that were hurtful, and no one said anything. And then,
But here's the thing with
the
that.
reply though was, well, we know that they're friends of the LGBTQ community.
See, because
That's not fair though, because who's to
that
say
comes
Kevin
more
Hart is
from
out there?
TMZ, because I know what you're talking about. TMZ did report that it was Sarah Silverman, Amy Schumer, and Lena Dunham. And if we're being honest, Lena Dunham talks about everybody because she could care less.
She should just shut up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The issue that has come out is that on Friday, when the Kevin Hart thing came out, they all automatically issued apologies for anything that they might have said in the past. Like a blanket apology for the last 20 years.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Why?
They're weak.
Why would you apologize for what you said 20 years ago?
And also, I don't know, because then, like, okay, so we've been doing the show about 4 years.
Yeah. Cody has said some
Don't say it.
disgusting things.
Don't.
I'm not going to say
But,
what you said, but
like,
you've said some disgusting things.
Let's
but
say not
you've learned, you've changed,
not
you've grown.
disgusting.
I
mean,
remember
let's be
one way we
honest.
came back from a break. That
That's what I was thinking of. Okay, so
You know,
you
we are
also said, and if I remember right, only a year ago. Well, in all of these Me Too cases,
oh my,
90% of the women are lying anyway.
and so far I've been right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's the guy next
But-
to you.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
The one that says wigger and spick all the time, Cody.
I do not,
I'm so disappointed in
Hey,
you.
let's be honest. He doesn't.
but
I do. Those are my words.
to be
Only
fair,
we can use them.
okay, your time's done.
Your time.
So, to be fair, if let's say that we got really big off this thing, right, and then Kevin Hart said something, and then I go back and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry if I've said anything in the past that offended people. People are gonna look,
They're gonna look,
and then
yeah.
they're gonna find out something that could have easily skirted under the table, and then you're really
It's
just
gonna
causing shit
be-
for yourself.
You're gonna see in headlines Cody Vogus back in 2014 said he molested. You know what? It happens. We all moved on. Did you really?
I thought I heard music from somewhere. I was
I was
confused.
just playing Cody's favorite song.
Okay, and
Which, by the way, thank all of you. You're welcome, since you can't hear the song.
I find
Only
it
in Ohio.
completely ridiculous This song has always been creepy. It's a freaking Christmas song. Play it, don't play it. Do you know how you get rid of it? Turn the radio off. Change the channel.
Or hit the pause button if you're me.
Which I'm
But-
kind of disappointed
No,
you
okay,
did.
so I just want to go back to the whole thing about the correlation between those two stories, and that is the whole black scent thing. So they have a problem with Ariana Grande using the black scent, but Eminem's been doing it since like the mid '90s,
Oh yeah,
and no
absolutely.
one said anything about that. Like, who cares? Yellow Wolf. There's a line of white rappers
Yeah.
who do it, and who cares?
You're not wrong.
Kim Kardashian is another one.
You're not. Yeah, she probably
But,
does
like,
a lot of black scent.
For some reason, people don't like Ariana Grande on this one. I don't know why. They decided just to flip script on her and hate her.
The hate
Because they
coming
just
from
started
Ariana,
loving her from the whole Pete Davidson thing.
Yes. The hate for Ariana Grande, though, is that she did break up with Pete Davidson because of all the hate that her ex committed suicide.
No. She broke up with him because Pete Davidson sent Mac Miller intimate photos of him and Ariana. I'm sorry.
Which I'm fine with, by the way.
I'm
Right.
not. Absolutely not. Because I'm a huge Mac Miller fan. That really broke my heart. Like, it really did.
He's going to cry again.
So
Okay,
fuck
I
that
don't
guy.
want to turn this conversation into this, but no, fuck Mac Miller.
No.
Because Pete Davidson didn't stab him in the throat. He didn't hang himself. No, he OD'd on drugs and alcohol. Fuck
Right,
him.
and he was already in a bad place, and you send him
exactly.
shit
So
like
don't
that?
fucking put that on Pete. Oh, and we gotta wear gloves around people who.
No,
have a
but that's just
problem. I
uncalled
mean,
for.
And I say this too. If you can, because your friend Kay, I hate to say his name, but him and I were debating this too. And the thing is, if you can show me proof that Mac Miller didn't send him shit too, then fine. But no one can prove that. We have no idea what Mac Miller sent Pete Davidson. The talking that went back and forth, we don't know. Anytime you're dating someone who's an ex, the ex always has a problem, especially if they're like celebrities.
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know. And if nothing else, Pete Davidson, again, he's a comic, and he's a dark comic. He probably, if anything, if it was completely unwarranted, he probably did it because he thought it was funny. Which I'm not. Just because the guy OD'd didn't even mean he meant to do it. For one, like, let's be clear about that. I mean, a lot of people OD. Some people who are, overweight.
I mean,
high
let's
school
be honest.
kids.
Who hasn't sent an ex, guess who I'm fucking right now picture?
Me.
No, you just say you're worthless and you're not worthy of love.
Hey, listen.
That's
the
all
shoe
you,
fits.
That's all you do. I'm just saying, like, it's not fair to pin that on Pete Davidson because God knows what the conversations actually were. No one knows, and Pete Davidson would be seen as a horrible person if he released that information.
Right.
So he's not going to,
Right.
and he just took the shit for it. And even Ariana Grande came out and she was like, "People really need to stop being so angry at him. Like, it wasn't what everyone thinks it was." So, I don't know. I trust her and him over blaming Pete Davidson for some idiot's, addictive tendencies. And I'm sorry, but yeah, you fuck up on your drugs. That's you. That's no one else.
Are you still upset about the Tylenol thing?
I'm pissed off about a lot of things.
What? The Tylenol thing. What the fuck?
I got a lot of anger. Just happened to come out on that one. But no,
It's always the Advil.
back to this just quickly because we're running. Yeah, we talk too much. But yeah,
It is our job.
well,
I mean,
too many tangents. Is it okay that this is becoming a thing, this blackfishing?
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I really don't think it is.
it depends. Ariana Grande, absolutely not. That's stupid. But I go back to the point when you got these white girls out here who are like completely remodeling themselves.
What do you mean though?
Like the pictures I showed you were white girls who were just going complete, not even black face, black body.
But okay, so that one that I showed you and I said that was one of the first ones,
Yeah.
that was her natural skin complexion.
Right.
She's taken a picture next to her brother before to prove it.
Yeah.
She's shown her mom's hair.
Right.
Like,
But the
she's
white
had-
chick I
she's
showed
had
you wasn't.
No, dude, that was her.
She was black in one of those
Yes.
pictures.
Yes.
How? How do you go from like pasty white to
It's something
black?
that happens with her family, like all of her family. And she had to prove it on social media that when they get sun, like when they tan, that's how dark they
Jesus
get.
Christ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
have to agree because when I tan, and when especially my daughter, she gets several shades darker.
Oh, her, sure. Yeah, I'm just saying you probably look like something Red Lobster would want to pick up.
But no, I mean some people, the melanin in their skin, when we tan, you can get several shades darker, and people won't believe it. It's crazy. And then you have, albinos here who.
Hey.
But I consider you Hispanic because you've had enough Mexican in you that
Listen,
you take it like
it was
none
one
other.
night I needed $30. Like,
Well, and okay, let me ask you another question.
all right.
A follow up on that. If you have a problem with it, you don't have a problem with it.
I'm white, so I win this conversation automatically.
Right. without
He's a
doubt.
white male.
Something to the contrary of it. Let's just say that these girls do want to look more black. Why is that really a big problem? And as a follow up to that, so is it okay that transgenders exist because they're transitioning into another sex?
Yeah.
Why can't you transition into another race,
Yeah, I
or
can see
to
that, I
look
guess.
like that race?
I guess I could see that.
I'm just asking a question.
I do. I think it's more of a compliment. I'm always amused when I see a lot of women try to be more Hispanic or more Latin. If that's what you want to do, why not? I know plenty of beautiful Latin women. I know plenty of beautiful black women. And if that's what you want to be, I get it.
Yeah, but that's where that cultural appropriation stuff comes into play.
Which comes into another place, and I'm glad you brought that up. Segregation. How much do we really want to be segregated?
Yeah.
It seems like liberals, and look, I'm a progressive, so I'm on that side. But in a lot of ways, it seems like liberals push for segregation.
Yeah.
Kind of, you're not wrong.
There's a fine line. I think we got to be careful with it when we're dealing with this kind of stuff.
I don't think they see it as segregation, though.
They don't, but that's what it is.
Right.
You know what
I'm
I
just
mean?
saying, I don't think they see it as that.
Right. But, it's just like, we have the slippery slope conversations
Yeah.
about a lot of things.
Sure.
I feel like we're already on that way.
Yeah.
And the more and more it's kind of analyzed, you're like, wait,
Yeah.
so we shouldn't look like, a different race. We shouldn't live by, because there's a lot of black people who are pushing that they don't want white people in their neighborhoods anymore because they say white people destroy their communities.
They bring
kinda
up the
do.
house rates.
Yes, I mean, and not just that, like they destroy businesses. There's actual proof that white people will destroy business because they won't go shopping at the black places. They'll go to
No.
Starbucks. They'll go to whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's a big push for that, and I understand their side of it. I really do. But then you start breaking it down. It's like, wait, this is segregation.
Yeah.
Is that what we're for? I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting to say the least. Anyway, do you got anything, or do you want to move on to Michael Cohen?
I do have one small thing.
I trust
And-
you now, especially since you broke the story that everyone's talking about today.
Well, I think we need to talk about another story that I'm hoping comes out more over the next several days. There is, with all the problems going on in Yemen right now.
Can I give just one break and let me explain to the people real quickly about your accolades and how we're so proud to have you on our team? So Tanya brought up a story on Monday about a 16-year-old girl who was defending herself from rape, and she shot a guy, and now she was sentenced to 51 years in prison.
Yes.
And that story is blown up everywhere. The Daily Haze has even caught on to it today. A lot of bigger publications, obviously CNN, they're all
Well, have you
talking
read
about it.
what the
but
big
we were
issue
the
is
first
today?
one to really break that, and all the respect in the world goes to you for being.
So what
on that.
happened is when this struggle and everything happened, the man that was raping her was shot in the back of the head. I don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
It shouldn't matter. When she was found when the police came to get her, she had on the man's pants. We're talking about a child who had been brutalized and raped for several hours, who had no clothes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And
yes.
wasn't she taken, and they did a rape kit on her too, and it was proven that, yes, she was raped?
And not just raped, but repeatedly and brutalized because they were able to tell by bruising how many hours she'd been in the room.
Yeah, any guy should be put through a meat grinder for
Which
that. He
should
got
not
lucky
be a
getting a bullet in the
problem.
back of the head.
Yeah.
The issue that is coming up is the judge in her case and the defense attorney have all claimed that if this was true defense, he would not have been shot in the back of the head. That this was It was a business matter gone wrong. That she was taking his wallet, and that's why she had his pants on.
Holy shit.
And that's what is going on today is two
Yeah, you're right, but
senators
yeah.
are trying to have this overturned. I personally have signed the paper that, they have a lot of pamphlets going out. So I signed it saying she should go free. And they need so many signatures. On the other side, though, you would not believe how many people. Well, if it was defense, he wouldn't have been shot. She wouldn't have had his clothes on. At the end of the day, we are talking about a 16-year-old child who was reported abducted, who was being brutalized. And if you can't see through that, then maybe you should just unlike us right now. Sorry.
And there is no, there's no confusion about the fact that he raped her.
Because even her pimp agreed that she should have been back to him hours, if not a day before. He did not report her missing because he has other hoes.
You can always get another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can easily find Cody's Jeep. But no, I mean, there is no... And so if you're on that side who's like, oh, yeah, she's in the wrong, there's something really wrong with you. And I hate to say that
Which
as
brings
a generality. But
exactly. Yeah. And that brings up my next story that I found. With all the issues going on in Yemen, and we have touched on it, and I don't want to touch on that. One of the statistics is there is 37 children dying every day in Yemen. So in years past, and it was under both President Bush's, the Obama administration, the Clinton administration, and I even want to say before then, before the first Bush, you are allowed to file for foster care international, which I knew nothing about. Yeah. And basically, you can find children, especially in Yemen. Yemen only approves of 5 adoptions every year. Wow. But you can apply to foster a Yemen child so they could come here legally as an immigrant, live here, become a citizen legally, and grow up here. You can do that with Yemen, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras. There's a bunch of countries. As of Sunday night, this was all stopped. You are no longer able to do international foster care. International adoption has been stopped. There are 62 families in the United States who have paid for tickets, paid for these children, and are in these countries with the children. They cannot bring their children home. Wow. Our president has put a stop on all adoptions. And no one is talking about it.
And let me add on to that, too. If anyone, for the people who think, when Trump got mad with the Syrian attacks, and then he bombed them, and he said, oh, well, he cares for the kids. No, he doesn't. He doesn't give a shit about the kids.
These are legal U.S. citizens now.
If you're questioning, the racist propaganda on that side, I don't think you need to look any further than that. I mean... We're talking, if you've seen the images of these children in Yemen, it's disturbing.
Horrible.
It's very disturbing. And that we're letting that happen. And yeah, there's kind of a safe haven for some of them. Not even for all of them, but at least some organization is trying to help as much as they can. And nope, we don't do that anymore either. And I guarantee you, it's the fucking immigration bullshit.
That's what it boils down to. And what a lot of the Republicans are saying is we're stopping the illegals. 62 families are waiting on 62 children in 62 countries that are legal U.S. citizens now. They have legal birth certificates. They have legal social security numbers. They have been legally adopted. Sunday night, 72 Russian children were allowed into the United States. And after they entered, no other children are allowed to come for the next 10 months.
I wonder why.
Because they're white. Something's not quite
That's
right.
That's the purest white you can get, I think.
Yeah.
It is completely insanity right now. I did not know you could do international foster care. Why would you stop that? I mean, what kind of evil person would stop that?
It's disgusting. And
and
that's one of those things, too, that I know. Sorry, I'll let you.
You're fine.
Just Donald Trump is such a moron that he probably had it had to be his hatred towards immigration and to people, I don't want to say this, I hate saying this, but to brown people, that he actually had to look this up and say, we're getting too many of these people we're going to stop it. I mean, because again, you didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. We're fairly informed people. So that tells how much hatred had to drive that moron to look it up. Anyway, you were going to...
I was just going to touch on, as you did, people will always say, oh, no, Trump's not racist. He's just looking out for America, et cetera. Like, when he shut down all the airlines, the Muslim ban, et cetera. It's like, okay, maybe I could see that. It was a weird time, whatever. But now it's just like, no, why are you letting all these little white kids in?
And to be fair, it wasn't a weird time.
I know. I'm just trying to make some sort of...
If it was 2001, 2002, okay.
Sure, yeah.
There's some... Yeah, let's take a breather real quick and let's reassess. But no,
But it's
it was
not.
2016.
Right, and I don't know. The fact that all these kids are legal. Like, they'll
They
come
are.
back legal. They will come back legal
No.
citizens, but then these Russian kids can come in?
Yeah, but that's fine. Well, I mean, Trump's planning for his next wife.
Right.
Kind of get him from over there. And let me also say, too, Trump, our moronic orangutan of a president, tweeted out today, and I want to address this, so if anyone is confused by this, and I would understand the confusion. So he tweeted out, we give the Iranians, under Obama, we gave the Iranians $150 million. Or 150 billion, sorry,
I saw that.
$billion, but we don't have $5 billion to build the wall. I want to express why he's a moron.
Well,
he should know
it's been
this.
talked about since then. He should know. And
Since
he doesn't.
2016, this has been an issue, by the way.
Oh my God.
So what happened was, is a very, I think, intelligent way. I'm not.
It
I'm
was
not
one
a
of the
super
few things Obama did that you really thought was funny.
and intelligent. And again,
It
I'm
is
not
funny.
the biggest Obama supporter because of the way he's a big fan of corporate America, and
Yes.
I have some issues with that. But it's how he really does make deals, and he's smart about it. He put sanctions on Iran, so he froze their accounts. So when they made that deal, he unfroze their assets. So they got that $150 billion that they had made.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't give them shit.
Right.
But Trump is so stupid, he doesn't know it. Or he thinks his followers are so stupid that they're not going to look that up. And they're just going to take that as gospel.
I think it's a little bit of both, but...
Yeah, I think you're right. But I wanted to bring that up because, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a talking point that people are going to go with.
Well, yeah, according to Rewire News, who is now posting, there are 14,000 newborns that are adoptable in our United States. 400,000 adoptable children are out of country right now. What the hell? Why would you stop any of these children from being adopted?
It makes no sense. It's completely pointless. You would have not only just people who can't have children, but humanitarians, people who care deeply about humanity. Not to mention, and I know this is not this side
Yeah.
doesn't like them, but the LGBTQ community. There's a lot of people who would be great parents and aren't able to, and
Yeah,
they could
they're-
actually do some help.
Yeah,
around the
LG,
world.
they are no longer allowed to adopt. But yeah, Rewire News is now posting about adoption, international adoption, and the bans going on. So please, people, look into this. This is not just us being mean. They're children. They
You gotta
are
watch out for
literally children.
that LGBT community, though. They're raising their army.
My issue.
They're
is
getting their injections, and they're just injecting people with this
Their
gay
injections?
hormone.
my problem with them is the Q. What are they questioning?
I know. Right.
They're
questioning
rising
their
up.
questioning their sexuality
They're
or the
question-
downfall of America.
Exactly. That's what I think. It's questioning our gun rights.
I mean, let's be honest. Do you know what the gay men are doing? They're making
Each other?
certain men look bad. Like Cody looks good. He could stand
Thanks.
by a gay man.
Yeah.
Let's put Jay by a gay man.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Do you know what
I'm
I
a
mean?
fantastic gay man.
They go out, they make the world better, they decorate, they want to make the world better.
Wait, but I don't do any of those.
I know.
No, he just sits on his ass, and his naked ass on a chair.
Absolutely.
Gay men love children. I just feel
I
like
do love children.
Not all.
differently.
I do feel like you should be saying some, all, but not. Or
Most gay
some, but
people
not,
are
or
wanting
most,
children.
but not all.
Yes.
You know, like
I'm just saying, if the gay men were to take over, I feel like it'd be a lot better world.
I feel like I'd be all right.
Like my makeup would be on point.
Like if they had an uprising and they're like, all right, we're gonna kill all straight people, I think I'd be okay.
you would definitely. Be
I think I
okay.
could blend in. Be
you
like,
would not have a
like,
problem.
oh honey, that.
See, they'd probably kill you for that though, because you'd be
Why?
like, no, only.
No, because I feel like
only someone who's low key straight would talk like that.
No.
nah. Have you ever
no.
met a really flamboyant guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, he's been watching what
Oh yeah, that fucking damn
queer
show.
or the drag
Did
queen.
you just say the queer show? Oh
I
my
thought it was
God.
queer queen. It's a drag queen, isn't it?
Well, it's not drag queen. Although, have you guys seen the cartoon Super Drag?
Yeah.
No, it's the dancing show from Texas.
I thought it was the drag queens.
No, well, no.
Queen of Texas?
She is a drag queen, and she like teaches over a dance studio.
Yeah, what's it called?
I don't know.
you,
I wish I knew.
you were obsessed with that show.
I was until I went through it.
Dancing
watching-
Queen.
Dancing Queen, yes.
I knew it was something about
Love
queens.
that show. It's fantastic.
You know, you
Oh.
need to watch the new It's Not a Christmas movie. It's called
Die Hard.
No Dumpling.
Dumpling. Oh, guys, I watched Puka.
Yeah,
Oh, did you watch
creepy.
Puka?
Dude, okay,
Did
so
it fuck with your mind a little?
yeah, a little bit. Not as much as I expected it to, but like I got little bits of like, okay. So I'm gonna validate this with you guys because I don't give a fuck if people haven't watched it yet. So
I barely watched it, so
have you finished it?
no, God, no.
Have you finished it?
Yes.
Okay, so is the premise that like this whole time he's in a coma kind of thing? Because so at the very end when they have their crash, right?
Yes.
And it's like, look at all the pretty lights. And the Puka thing, which I don't understand where Puka originated from, but I think that like the whole movie is
He's
him
in a
a
coma.
coma, and that's why all the toys start freaking out, saying, "Look at all the pretty lights," because it's the last thing that like he saw before he passed out. I still want to know.
Does he wake up at the end?
No,
No.
at the
Oh,
no.
so then it could be.
No, and the weird thing is the paramedic is the guy who
Yeah.
is the salesman guy.
I mean, it's completely messed up.
So it could be very well, like, what's that movie? There's a movie, and it's all about the last 6 seconds that you're alive.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
So maybe that's what it's about.
See, that's what I took it, that he was dying. I don't know, because it
Holy
was
God,
so
like,
weird.
if I thought death was bad enough, like if that's the last 6 seconds I'll live, like fuck
Sing
that. Like
Puka?
death has gone even worse.
Yeah.
Like death stepped its game up. Now
See,
I'm
I
really
questioned
afraid.
that movie when he held up the little like miniature puka, and he's like, "Isn't it cute?" And I was like, "Fuck no!"
Oh right.
Like, why would I want that in my house? No.
Why do you keep looking at my hair?
Because it kind of looks like Puka's.
Is it all puffed up right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
And then your eyes. You really got to lay off the meth before you come in here.
Pretty dilated, huh? Guys. Puka.
You just look
I
like
didn't
a,
really think it was that bright down here. But
you just look like a half disabled fly.
Only half? All right, I'll take it. Anyway.
puka.
Wait.
Sorry. But no, you need to watch Dumpling. There's a bunch of drag queens in
Okay.
it. You would appreciate it.
Would I?
You-
I might check it. I don't know. It's not like I like everything that's drag queen.
So far you
So,
have.
I'm
not
kind
a
of
big
impressed.
Fan, I'm not a big fan of RuPaul's show.
You like Jeffree Star?
Like sexually or,
Look at him. He's
or like
baby.
Depends.
or
Is that a yes?
entertainment wise.
Both? They kind of fall hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean really. That's my type of woman. No, but yeah, RuPaul's show that drag. I don't like watching that.
See, and I think your issue with that is some of them aren't as feminine as what you like.
No, my
You
issue,
like your men. I mean, look at Cody.
My
You like them
issue-
super feminine and
Yeah.
pretty.
my thing is like in like Dancing Queen, the moms are freaking awful.
They are.
Like Dan's moms
That
are
is the best.
the
No
worst
idea.
people, and like
no idea.
I like watching that. Like I didn't get into that one show because I didn't like the lady.
Oh,
Abby,
Dance Moms.
Dance
I
Moms.
think it was
yeah.
just called Dance Moms.
Yeah, I didn't like the main woman.
I hated that show
yeah.
with a passion.
So I never got into
Yeah.
that. But this one I did, and like, yeah, there's some really good stuff with the, like how some of them are normal, and then some are just god awful people. And it's like, what do you do with your life? This is your life is watching your
Yes.
12-year-old dance. Like, there's no. I mean,
I know
I'm not
people
gonna
like that. It's
yeah.
sad. It's sad.
It's crazy.
So we've only got 17 minutes left, not including promotion.
So we should do the rest on a review of Poca.
Absolutely.
Puka or
Puka.
whatever it's
Puka.
called.
Get it right, asshole.
Whatever. Like I've seen 5 minutes of
You
it.
need to
okay?
finish it. But
No.
anyway, we need to talk about this Michael Cohen thing because
We
this is
do.
going to be huge.
Just a lot.
What makes you think it's going to be so huge?
I think, well, because he's willing to talk now.
So are most of them.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is all coming to a head very quick.
I mean, the report. So, okay, just to recap for everyone who's been under a rock today, Michael Cohen was sentenced to 3 years prison. He came out of it saying that from the moment he was hired on to work for a wealthy real estate man, he still didn't give the name,
Right.
Individual One,
Yeah.
he has felt
that?
dirty and has been disgusted by the deeds that he's had to hide.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a breath of fresh air, and he was finally.
I like
Is
his.
that
kind
not
of-
like the most interesting quote to
Well,
give someone?
I thought his most interesting quote was when he was like, "As ironic as it is, today I get my freedom back."
Yeah.
As he's getting sentenced to jail,
Yes.
I'm like, God, that's got to be a weight off your shoulders. If you're like, you know what, I'll take 3 years in jail. I feel free.
I'll be fine. Yeah, and he's probably gonna go to a nice prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's not doing Orange Is the New Black.
No.
Yeah. So from that though, Trump, a very frustrated and disgruntled President Trump, commented that he is such a big liar. No, it's all lies, no collusion.
Of course.
I think, and for me,
but it was collusion.
collusion. Well, look, there's no smoking gun. Okay, let's be honest. And I think for me, like going back, a week when Roger Stone refused to speak, he pleaded the fifth. To me, that was huge because
Yeah.
all this time, everywhere, the whole media tour that Roger Stone's been on, he said, well, I expect to get indicted. I'm just waiting. I'm happy. They'll bring me in. I'll talk, whatever. They got nothing. He says nothing. He just says, I plead the fifth.
I think in a way,
Holy
pleading
shit.
the fifth is just as damning as a confession.
It really
Not
is.
so much for the other person because they don't have any information on individual one, but it's just as damning for you because you're like, well, why don't you just tell us why you're innocent then?
Yeah. No, exactly. And like we were talking about Mueller just being analytical
Yeah.
as all hell. And that he came in to that room with Roger Stone and Michael Cohen and, Comey and John Kelly and all these people he's been talking to. And Mueller sat there and he said, I know about this. You replied to this. You said that. We've seen video of you doing this. We've seen this communique. We've seen that communique. We've seen these emails. This. So so tell me what's going on. And then that
Yeah.
immediately Roger Stone was like,
Oh, fuck.
they know way more than I thought.
Yeah.
I used to be really against this whole thing, but meaning I thought, hey,
Why drag it out?
no, not that. More like I'm not sure how true this collusion stuff is. Like it did kind of seem like a wool over our eyes. Like, I didn't think that the Democratic Party had been pushing it so hard because they couldn't believe they lost. Because they should be surprised every time they don't lose.
Yeah.
Because they are the worst.
They're weak.
They're horrible at running campaigns. I mean, you don't support somebody like James Thompson, just because he's a progressive. Yeah, eat a dick.
So what you're saying is
But I do think that there was, at first I thought, like, they're trying to push this fake narrative and get him impeached because they're so mad. And I wasn't seeing many, outside of what we were talking about, which were, there was in Pittsburgh, there was the servers, the Trump servers that were speaking
That
to
was in
Betsy
Yes.
DeVos's company. Was it Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania?
It was Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Sorry. It was speaking to Betsy DeVos's company and speaking to the Deutsche Banks. And then once discovered, that whole server was shut down. Like that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but it's so convoluted. I don't know if they're going to get anything. But now I'm on the board. I think Mueller has gotten a lot more than what.
So what you're saying is my prediction from a year and a half ago or so may come true.
Do you think at this point?
I think it's going to take at least another couple of weeks. Eric and Donald Jr., they're both under scrutiny right now. And it's not going to take much to get them. It's not going to take much for Ivanka because, as you remember, Hillary had to go through with her emails. They're eventually going to have to take in Ivanka, and she's going to have to answer up to these emails. And once you have the 3 children, and then you have to remember Ivanka's husband is also one of his many, not lawyers, but we talk to him and deal with him. It's not going to take long before the kids are like, you know what? Okay, it's true. This is what he did.
Well, yeah, Kushner is involved in everything. Like, Kushner is, just
Spineless.
well,
Yeah.
and I mean, he could be indicted in so many different cases. I mean, we were talking about the Middle East. I mean, he was the first one who contacted MBS and said, "Here, I'm going to coach you how to get through this storm." Like,
I mean, if
he
you're
knew
taking
he killed
down,
him. Like he was talking him through that. He can be indicted in so many things.
I mean, think if you were Mueller, you're going to take down the president of the United States, and not just the president, Donald Trump, who supposedly has billions of dollars. You want to make sure you can lock him away for as long as you can, and there cannot be any issues. You want to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And for his part, he really is. He is going through everything, and I feel like he's taking too long. But he's making the right choices for what needs to be done.
I mean, Benghazi went on for like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Benghazi.
This is way bigger than Benghazi, and I mean, because I think Mueller, he's getting up there, but I mean, if he boofs this one,
You're not wrong.
then his career and people who work for him, everyone who works around him, their careers are done.
Well, and
Yeah.
according to the Republican Post, which is mostly on the Republican side, due to the fact that, Coney, he's coming out with this is what's happening. And well, your quote, I'm finally going to be able to be free now. Cohen. There's a lot of people from the Republican Post who are saying they are losing money because if this is all true, did Trump pay for abortions? Did Trump do this? There are so many people leaving the Republican Party today that it is posted in the Republican Post.
Are they really asking that though? Still,
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
do they need that proof?
Yes,
Like, I gotta
they
be
do.
honest, I kind of don't care about the abortions at this point.
Well, and we knew about it a year ago.
Right.
But you're talking about far right. I mean, they are
is
so
saying
up his
something.
butt.
It's saying something,
Wh-
having
where-
these people that Tanya's talking about
Oh,
come on and start
100%.
questioning. it.
Yes, I agree.
Well, and I would feel differently if it was like the 98%, the Democratic, the progressives. It is
Yeah.
the Republican Post posting it.
I'm just so surprised that they aren't able to process things as much. I mean, we're an independent media radio show, and I'll be honest with everyone, in a dunk basement is where we're at. And we were talking about Karen McDougal months ago,
Yeah.
months and months. I
Yes.
mean, probably damn near a year ago that we were going off about how this without a doubt happened. And if you look into the person, I can't remember his name at the moment, who got all the defense contracts. I mean, we did all that work a long time ago. It's amazing they're coming to that conclusion
But
now.
I mean, when you have somebody that is so far colluded up someone's ass, it takes a while, which is
You're
why
right, you're right.
we have The Atlantic, who has posted at 4:22 today.
2 minutes late.
Right?
That was funny. I did the 420.
So it was also announced today from the White House that President Trump has signed into order. He's counting his days, let's be honest. He's trying to do as much damage as he can.
But okay, real quick to that. Do you think he knows?
He has got to
No.
know.
I mean, listen.
I'm with
I-
Cody. I'm where Cody's going.
Really,
Do you think so?
Yeah, I really think that he has surrounded himself with the level of sycophants that he has, that he probably fully believes he's going to get off.
I mean, let me ask you to help
That could be an
back
interesting
Cody's
thing
point.
to see.
Okay, if you get a bill from Cox, Tanya,
Yeah.
and you don't pay it, do you go around telling people how proud you are that you didn't pay your bill?
No.
I mean,
Exactly.
countless contractors that built these towers and built the buildings that he's had. He has paraded around the fact, well, I didn't pay any of them because
That
I
is
don't need to.
true.
Like, he's so demented.
He is
He
into
feels like he's
himself.
invincible.
Yeah, and he feels like
I-
everything is just
I
entitled to
really,
him.
really would not be surprised if he doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not counting his days. If he really just doesn't even realize, like,
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually getting serious.
I don't think he even knows.
Because it has to do with him, so you would think that he'd be all about it, like knowing what's going on. But also, it's negative about him. So he's probably like, nah, bah.
It's like guys who don't respect women and they don't know it. He's the same way, I think. Trump is so up his own ass that he thinks
Right.
that, oh, no, the world's entitled to me. Like,
Well, and see, you could be right. But we already know that the Republican Post is posting that, we have people who are doubting.
And
Fake
also,
news.
to be fair, just one last point is that, I brought up in the past about how frustrating it is that there's all this stuff, all these spider webs connected with all this stuff that we're like, why are we letting him get away with this? We've asked that question a lot.
many times.
And he has, in a way, gotten away with it, but we've also kind of thought, maybe they're just using it. Like, they're just stockpiling it until the day comes, and then Mueller's just going to hit him with every single one, which is possible. But that could also give Trump a false sense of security, where
Yeah,
it's like,
you're right.
well, I've gotten away with it before. Why haven't I now? When he may not realize, like, maybe I didn't get away with it. Maybe they're just holding it back.
It's like if you stole CDs from Walmart and then it's been like months since you've gotten caught, then you think like, oh, I'm good.
That is
So
true.
then you try again.
Wow,
and
you're
then
really
you
hitting
get
home with
caught.
that one, buddy.
Well,
Thanks a lot.
I've been doing a lot of references today.
I know.
That are really under the radar.
So it was at 422. It was the Atlantic, and it's a Georgian newspaper, and it seems to go more towards the Republican side. And this is coming from them. It was announced today that back in 1995, there were from the Vietnam War, anybody who immigrated here to the United States would be considered a naturalized citizen. As of 422, they should start being prepared to be receiving their deportation papers.
Yeah.
Trump is deporting the Vietnam War. Why would you do this to people?
The Vietnamese.
Yes.
Listen. When he was in that war, he saw how bad it got.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my God.
understands the trials and tribulations of war.
So, and it is not just the Vietnamese; it's the Cambodians. People.
Fuck the Cambodians.
Exactly.
Dude.
So we are talking people that have been here since the 70s. You should be expecting your deportation papers.
Do we have a number on how many that's going to be? Or I mean, and I hate to put you on the spot like that because I hate it when you guys do that to me when I'm reading a story. But I just didn't know if they had that information in there.
There are 5,000 names that should be receiving papers within this week.
What about their offspring? Because then that wouldn't make them legal. Again, I hate to put you on that
Well, and see, that's what it is saying that.
because they want to do away with
Yeah,
embryo
you can
babies.
no longer
Right,
have
that's-
those. And this is from 1995, and the cutoff date was 90. So these children, the whole families would have to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
But
older
yes,
than Cody.
we
So
are
then, like,
talking-
at Cody's age, a lot of people have kids by now.
Yeah.
So
then
at
their
least
kids would have to leave.
5,000 people who filled out the paperwork. So that number could be jumping up
Triple,
by
quadruple.
by next week at least. Yeah. So, and I mean, that's a Republican paper. And the headline that was posted, Trump moves to deport Vietnam War refugees. His hate and white supremacy knows no bounds. A cancer on the face of our democracy. We need to move blue.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree. But,
Yeah.
and I read about that story too, and I was very disgusted by it.
I still want to know what the hell the Cambodians did.
Growing up,
Haven't you ever heard the song "Holiday in Cambodia"?
it's a great song.
It is.
Growing
Holiday
up
in Cambodia.
in kindergarten, my best friend was a Vietnamese immigrant. His name was Saran Tran. If you fucking take Saran Tran, you've got a war on your hands, buddy.
I hope to God he's listening. That would be hilarious.
Rally around Tran.
I haven't talked to him in over probably 25 years, but I will die for that guy.
Wow.
I am ready to go to war. Yeah, I think around first grade we stopped talking.
Oh.
Oh, did you really?
I think so, probably.
He was so quiet.
You should really reach out to him and be like, "Hey, man, so are you like getting deported or?"
Do you need to stay at my house?
Yeah.
I'll hide you, man.
But I mean, what's it going to take? Because this was a Republican news site. It was a Republican post. Trump is going to have to start seeing at some point, you're not
Okay,
bulletproof. You're going down, you worthless piece of trash.
you are using a rational mind. And a lot of people don't have that rational mind. Let me explain from an excerpt I heard. This is literally and I live so close to my job, it's not even funny. This was something I heard on Limbaugh from my way to my house, from my house to my job this morning. And maybe you guys can point it out. But and Trump's base just sucks up all this shit. It's Fox News, Limbaugh, Hannity, and they're always so right on everything. Everything else is fake news. So this is what Limbaugh said. He said, a new report from, I don't know, some yuppies using the Marist polls say that 70% of the country does not want to fund a border wall. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. It's not true, folks. Look, and I'm doing word for word, by the way. This is what we've had our own polls done in the Marist polls, and it says that 66% of Trump's base supports shutting down the government and sponsoring the wall. And and that's what he said. He's like, see, they don't report anything correctly. Now, okay, let me go over the numbers again. 70% of Americans don't support the funding of the wall and shutting down the government. 66% of Trump's base does support it.
Right.
I actually think that's way too favorable on how big Trump's base is if you're using those numbers.
So because I just looked up, we have a #1 Trump supporter. And the look on Cody's face.
So I was in the middle of this. I didn't even see it.
But because then I made me think, maybe Jay's right. So I looked up our #1 Trump supporter. And, we do have fans out of country. According to our #1 Trump supporter, in Europe, you can hear people shouting, from France, we want Trump. From the UK, we want Trump. From Spain, Germany, and Ireland, we want Trump. And even though MSM isn't reporting on it, nonetheless, it's happening. The world is waking up and realizing that our President Trump is right about the dangers of open borders, forced migration, and globalism, and the deceitful left-wing propaganda news media that are complicit in the cover-up. Have you heard from any of these countries saying they want Trump?
No, and I actually know a lot of people from those different countries.
And that's what I'm thinking, because I know any minute we're going to be getting messages from these countries. From our #1 Trump supporter, it is actually a flyer that they are reposting all over.
Can I ask you a question? Where was that from? Because if I remember right, that actually came from
the United Deplorables of America.
Yeah, which was taken, that story, if I remember right, came from a really trusted media source known as Breitbart, which, yes, we can all trust Breitbart. It's about as trustworthy as TMZ. By the way, our #1 Trump supporter, we love you. We do. Just, come on.
Why don't you go see your kids, too?
Okay, I'm not being that mean. Just, let's use our common sense a little bit. Let's look at the numbers.
#1 Trump supporter.
Oh, no, fuck you.
Let me see this.
Yeah, go visit your kids, asshole.
Yeah, stop treating your wife like shit, you bigot fuck.
Oh, wow. Oh, you know him.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I don't even care. If he was just a Trump supporter, then fine.
No, that's why I wanted to show you
I know
who
him
it was.
personally, and he's a dick.
Gotcha.
Because when you were like, no, I'm not going to say, no, that's why I showed you, because I knew you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, fuck him.
And stop trying to take my identity in high school. You can't be me.
Oh my God, is this guy again?
Yes. And you would think with as outspoken as we are, or at least I am on my personal page, he has not defriended me. Wait. And it makes you wonder if he's sitting there listening at all, or if later on this week he'll listen in on YouTube.
I got a friend who's friended me recently, and I don't know who he is. He's huge right wing, just attack. He's so thirsty though, because he just posts stuff like the left wing are so idiots, they don't know anything. And that's the post he leaves. And he's expecting people to engage, and no one engages.
Okay, so I'm a little confused now about this guy.
Exactly.
So I'm scrolling down.
Is this something we can do after? Or is
No.
Okay.
This is relevant.
Okay.
So I'm scrolling down his page just because I want to see all the bullshit he posts, right?
Yeah.
All this Trump. And then all of a sudden, it's this thing. It's the Rudolph movie. It says, "Thanks for saving Christmas, Rudolph." And then it has a picture of Obama, and it says, "Well, actually, that was me." So I'm like, wait, look. I'm like, wait a second. So
does he know that he's given Obama props?
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that confuses me more is the page is chicks on the right. So I'm like,
Oh my God!
I'm like-
Seriously?
I'm confused. Are you Trump supporter, or do you just really like Christmas that much that you'll give it to anybody?
Can I also bring up the fact that how many right-wing Trump supporters do you know that preach family and values, who are like the worst parents?
Yeah, absolutely.
And are
Exactly.
really bad at taking care of their own responsibility.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest guys that we know who the system shouldn't protect, shouldn't set people up, blah, blah, blah. The N-words are destroying this country, yada, yada. He lives with his mom, and he's
Right.
in his 60s.
Right.
He has never had a real job. The government is taking care of him this entire time.
Right.
But it's okay because he's white. And it's like, dude, even if, like, let's be honest, and let's say we go by your standard, then you should have been cut off and killed a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Where are your boots at, man? Because you should have had those on,
Yeah.
I don't know, 40 years ago.
You're not wrong.
So,
Like, and that's a lot of them, though. Like,
so just to bring it all around, because I feel like we're wrapping up here soon.
somebody's getting antsy.
I thought. I
I've
don't know.
got a date.
Maybe I'm wrong. But
Alfonso can't wait forever.
this Mueller thing,
yeah.
it needs to, or Cohen,
Yeah,
Mueller,
yeah,
but specifically Cohen, since that's what we brought up, it needs to be watched. Because now that he's ready to talk, if he goes on with all this stuff in the last, whatever period of time he's been working with Trump, that's going to be big.
Well, no, and I want to sit in on this for just a little bit because I want to ask you, both of you,
Sure.
do you think and Cody brought up the whole thing about Cody predicted a year and a half ago. I mean, like, this was like, I think he was still president-elect, honestly, that he was going to be impeached. And I was like, I don't know. It's questionable.
Specifically for collusion.
And, we got pushback on that. He's wrong. And I questioned it as well because it's a hard thing to make work. But with possibly only 2 years left, and you know how long court dates take, you know how long all this stuff can take.
Yes, it's worth it.
Do you think they will, though?
I'll say this. With that, bearing that in mind, impeach, no. Jail time, absolutely.
I'm going to agree with Cody.
So at this point, I don't know that they'll go the impeachment route because by the time they finish that whole process, he'll have like probably half a year left, realistically. Year tops.
Well, and might I, Tanya, you said worth it. Morally, yes, you're right, but strategically, no, you're wrong. And
do you think so?
I 100% like when all the stuff with Brett Kavanaugh came out.
Mm-hmm.
I had said secret. I didn't talk about it on the air because I didn't want the hate. But I told you guys off air, like they shouldn't do anything about this.
Yeah.
Just let him go. Let him in. Like, and the reason I said that, and I felt shitty saying it because these women do deserve justice and whatever. But I knew they weren't going to get it, and then I knew it'd fire up the base.
Right.
And
Exactly.
we almost lost a lot of seats in the midterms because of the Kavanaugh. Even though, like, it seems like it's hard to be like, oh, these people are going to push back against rape victims.
Right.
But that's their bait. Like, that's
Yeah,
their
it
mindset.
is.
So if we impeach Trump or go after him really hard to the point he resigns, that base is going to get fired up.
Right.
And they're going to find some other...
I agree with you to a point, but after seeing, because I'm really interested in what's going to happen the next several weeks. They've been bragging the red wave. I don't think they have a red wave. I don't think there's going to be as much red.
It was just when Donald farted. He's got some hemorrhoid problems.
I do. I'm really interested to see how many people, because I've seen it and I've shown you guys, they're leaving and I think that's sad. If you truly believe in your party and you feel, you shouldn't have to feel like you can leave it, but he's pushing people to the limit. And I feel that's why I think that they should prosecute. Just
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with Jay on this. Like I think the jail time definitely needs to be served.
Exactly.
But
Yes.
impeachment, I say no because it will fire. And here's the thing: is that as shitty as this is, what's done is done. And so, as I don't think that it is worth riling up the base because then when it comes around to it, if they aren't riled up, we could take over. And so, what's done is done. And as shitty as it may be, I think that the risk to reward ratio is just not there. I still think the jail time needs to serve because he did break laws. That's just the justice system. But
yeah.
as far as impeachment, I don't think that riling up that base is worth the risk.
And
Not at all.
Let's be honest here too. Republicans and Democrats are mindless followers.
Yep.
And they, we've pointed out many times, and thank God that it actually worked here in Kansas, but that Chris Kobach was stealing votes. I mean, that's the most un-American thing you can do. But there were so many Kobach supporters still.
Yeah.
They were, oh, yeah,
And it's
fine.
disgusting.
It's un-American, whatever. Soldiers died for the right to vote, but I don't care.
Right.
He's still a Republican. I'm voting for him. And they had the facts. It doesn't matter. If we proved without a reasonable doubt that Trump colluded with Russia, that Trump's been laundering money, that went to the campaign. If we got all that, his base and a lot of the Republicans are still going to be behind him. Nothing's going to change it. It's just like, and to play the other side for for a little bit, the Democrats all in front of Ocasio-Cortez, they said, yeah, we'll refuse to take
That's true.
fossil fuel money. Fine, yeah. Then after they voted for Speaker of the House, they all rescinded that,
Right.
and they said, oh no, we're not going to. And people are still Democrats. People are still going to vote Democrat. Oh, they're good for the environment. Are they? Are they really?
I mean, you can
because
get
you have
more,
so many,
right?
and you have so few people, and which is why I'm such a big progressive, who are trying to fix their party from the inside and change it. And that's what we're trying to do. But you don't have a Republican side of that. You don't. In fact, if anything, it's some more actual conservative Republicans that don't like a lot of this stuff. But the leader is obviously the libertarians and people like that.
I can see that. I don't know. I'm just really interested in what's gonna do. I mean, the next couple of weeks. How much worse is it gonna get? I can't wait. It's exciting to me. Take the fucker down.
It's definitely the time to
By Uncle Cracker.
If we're lucky, maybe we'll have a Christmas impeachment.
Yeah.
It's a
Christmas miracle.
Anyway, that's it for us, guys. Check us out on YouTube, Revolution Radio channel. You have to search that because that's right now the best way to find us. We've only got like 2 videos up, but those will be updated.
There's going to be at least 3 more coming
where
up.
have I been?
There's 3 more coming up tonight. I'm trying to think. Our Facebook page is under construction. We're doing some new things with it, and hopefully we'll have more exciting news coming. I'm really thinking January and February could be very busy months. I hope you guys are ready for the guests to come back, because there's a chance we will have a guest filled, if not 2 guests every night for January and February.
That'd be awesome. That'd be amazing.
It's gonna
You
be
go to your you're like, what's going on? Yeah, we're so lazy. And definitely anyone local who's into the media and all that, we're in talks with I don't know how to say his name. Miko Hayes?
Yes.
That's how you say from the Daily Hayes, and we're hoping that he'll be on here at some point in the near future. Fantastic follow, by the way, on Facebook.
Yes.
A lot of good stuff. But yeah, so pay attention to the Facebook page at Revolution Radio, my Facebook page, which, by the way, all of you comedians and all you people who are listening who keep friending me, thank you. I actually feel popular.
Jay's up to like almost 500 friends, and 400 of them are comedians. And he's like, I don't know this person, but I watched their video and they're great.
Boom. I'm just adding everyone. I've got like 400 fake profiles who just keep.
I was gonna say,
actually, I'm very picky.
I just keep getting those fake ones.
I hate the
Those
fake
fakes,
ones.
Like, hey, watch my channel for like $200 an hour. I'm like, fuck.
Well, oh, and
It's
that
like,
reminds me.
Stop texting me.
Right.
So for those of you out there who sent me the authors, we love authors. Please don't send Jay books. Jay is not a reader.
No, it's fine. You can send them to Tanya.
Yeah.
Unless it's
if-
Audibles, then I'll do it.
I think that if you have a lot of the romance, please send some to Cody and friend Cody.
Only the Dino erotica.
Were you impressed with the Dino
I
erotica?
was.
We've
Yeah.
got to talk to someone who does Dino
Yeah,
Erotica.
absolutely.
I was really impressed. Yeah. So please keep sending me your favorite authors, because some of them are really thinking about coming on. And the more you send us, the more we can actually interview the people you want.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, like I said, a lot of big things. Revolution Radio on YouTube. It's a way to keep up. Like I said, the archive is going to be growing and growing. the the person in charge of that is incredibly backlogged because we have so much fucking stuff that we've been. It was like, hey, here, handle all this.
I hope you pay that kid enough because. So I feel like you sent him with 30 episodes, and you're like, just upload those.
Just upload. Just
like listen
go
to
ahead
them,
and take care of that.
write what's and just upload them. And I'm sure that kid was like, "Fuck you."
By the way, while staying current, like, hey, we just interviewed a comic. I need that up. We're not nice. But anyway, yeah. So pay attention to that. Like I said, the Facebook page. We try to update that as much as possible with what we're going to be talking about on the daily. And yeah, Jay Dillon, Facebook, Cody
Vogus on Facebook and Magnus Apex on Twitter.
That's right. Tanya Marie Buentello on Facebook. We do have Revolution Radio on Facebook. Our email is revolution-radio316. Please email us. Instagram is coming up as Revolution316. I am Tanya Boo on Instagram. Please, my army buddies. Once again, there are multiple children on my Instagram.
Why?
Some of them you're related
They're
to.
her friends.
No, I mean, Instagram is different. Like, anybody can like you. You can't stop them. Here's my problem. We have the Army 72nd base.
How come I can't start them?
I feel like 2 of you are uncles of the children. If you can continue to send me your dick pics, which, by the way, I do know who 2 of you were in the picture of 7. I sent it to your mom.
Oh
Your
my
mom
God.
is calling you on Friday when you have free time. Stop sending me dick pics.
Wait, but earlier you were talking to another guys in like Kuwait or something that you wanted their dick pics.
Yeah, you did.
I
You're sending
did,
mixed
and-
messages.
I did, and I'm stopping this.
Do you know, by the way,
I'm
the
stopping.
best way to get people to do something that you don't want them to do is
Make
to
them think
ask
it
them
was
to
their idea.
stop.
Yeah, I know.
No, because I seriously sent the dick pics to his mom.
That's awesome.
And
Why
you-
would his mom want to see that though? Be
By
like,
the way, just send your dick pics to me.
oh,
I mean,
Plot
you know,
twist.
I can do stuff with them. No, not like that.
like a collage,
I could put I could
like a little picture book thing.
exactly. I could forward them to Matt. He's
Some
one
of them
them-
have
he's
like
one of them
their
tweeted.
army hats on. Some are like between the trigger. There's one where they're trying to use it to like make a fucking s'more, and I know who that is because you have a birthmark. So I just
Wait, how'd you know they have a birth?
Yeah, like how many dicks have you looked at? That would be-
Jesus.
like seriously, I wouldn't even know what my dick looked like in a
Yeah.
lineup.
No, I know. Seriously.
that is sad.
Why? Why?
It's your.
I
It's
don't-
yours.
Hey, don't try to flip this on us, Trump.
Dude, I'm too busy abusing that thing. I don't look it in the eye.
Half the time I see it, it's purple.
Oh my god. Thanks
on-
for listening, people. Wow.
On that, we are done. AdamandEve.com. Use the code word REV. Maybe the 2 of you will continue to order again. For all of you who's not ordering, you're not nice, okay?
You're not nice.
We need money. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. We are out.